from traveling all over the place. So anyway, I wanted to turn the recorder there on so I can share all this with you guys. Didn't feel like it was necessary to capture all of that. So anyway, and by the way, real quick note, I will give you the slides along with the recording once we're done and I get it all put together. I will give you the recording of all this and I'll give you the slides so that you can match them up with some of the stuff I'm going to teach you tonight. Okay. Here's some mindset stuff, and I'm real big on this. Jim did a long deal this morning, Facebook Live, about people griping and how they gripe and stuff like that. I see a lot of us, and I say us because we're in this boat as well, struggling to find places to stay. And I don't think it's going to get any easier. A lot of people are getting into RVing and everything. So it is going to be a little tougher to stay. So I think there's some important mindsets. First thing is we can always find a place to stay. We have done a number of last minute trips before we were full-time, and we made that work. And I'm going to show you some tricks tonight for doing that. Obviously it's better if you plan ahead, but you almost always find somewhere to stay if you have to get away. Sometimes we plan every stop on a trip, particularly some of the longer trips we've taken. And then sometimes we just kind of plan it as we go. I think both of those have merit. I would not want to be dependent on either one of those all the time. I think a good combination of those is healthy. You may be more comfortable with one or the other though. And so again, pick out the one that works best for you. We keep all of our options open. All right. And I think tonight I'm going to show you several different options for how to find places to stay. If you're one of those folks that has got to stay in a state park, then you're going to be very, very limited and sometimes shut out. If you can expand that a little bit, I think you'll be more successful. If you only want full hookups, I'm not saying I don't understand that. I do understand that, but it's going to limit how many places you can go. So I think it's really important to keep every option open and use every tool available. I'm going to show you a lot of technology tonight, and I'm not going to say it's easy, but I don't think it's hard. I'm 68 years old, and it doesn't scare me at the least to use this technology that we have. It's all learnable, and again, it creates a lot of options for us. And then wherever we're at, we are going to make the most of every situation. We took a trip to Maine last year. We were gone for almost 3 months, and we stayed in all different kinds of places. And quite frankly, I would not hesitate to go back to any of them. There's some we like more than others, but some of them, maybe could have been a little bit better. I don't know, but we were pleased with all of them. So let me give you an idea of the tools that we use. Let me see if we have any questions up here real quick. Just stop and monitor that. Do Q&A. Okay, that was answered. Anybody have any questions? Type them in there real quick if you want to. So far, any questions? All right, now you're rocking again. Y'all still there? Okay, so I'm going to show you RV Trip Wizard tonight, as it is our the backbone of all of our trip planning that we do. And by the way, when I show you RV Trip Wizard, as I put this out onto the Texas RV site, somebody from RV Trip Wizard reached out to us, and they have offered us an amazing discount. All right, I'm going to show you that in a little bit if you want it. And quick little note here, I don't make any, he offered me an affiliate opportunity, and I said, no, thank you, I can't do that. I do not want to in any shape, form, or fashion do anything like this for Texas RV, anything like that would have any money involved in it. I said, well, how about you just give me a discount I could pass on to our people, and I'm going to show you guys a great discount. And again, I have no desire to monetize this myself. So RV Trip Wizard's the backbone of it. We use reserveamerica.com. That's the state site. We use recreation.gov. That's the National Parks and Corps of Engineers site. Campgrounds of America, KOA. We're big fans of KOA. They're a little bit more expensive, but we have stayed at some really cool ones, and we like to keep those in our repertoire, if you will. Harvest Host, we've only done it twice, but we loved it, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that in the future. If you're not familiar with Harvest Host, you pay a one-time annual fee, and you have access to all kinds of really cool places to stay all across the country for free. Some of those may have a small upcharge, but primarily they're free. And I'm gonna actually show you that tonight. Show you Harvest Host as well. And then campground reviews is part of RV Life and RV Trip Wizard. I'm going to show you how I use that. When I get in RV Trip Wizard, I'm going to show you a lot of details about it. And that's part of RV Life. We're also members of 1,000 Trails. I think it's a very valuable membership if you're traveling in the zones where they have a lot of availability. They have a lot of campgrounds. I was not thrilled with the quality of the 1,000 Trails that we stayed at. A couple of them are a little on the lower end of stuff, but it was fine. And then a couple of them we stayed at were really cool. So I think it's a valuable tool. I did not put it on our list here for this evening. And then Google Earth is a really cool tool. I'm going to show you that while we're in RV Trip Wizard, so you can take a look at the site and kind of get a bird's eye view, if you will, or a Google Earth eye view of the of your sites, your campground. And then here's what we don't use currently. I'm not using any Bureau Land Management, Hemp Camp, Boondockers Welcome, or any of those. We need to learn more about boondocking before we do that. This year, our trip is going to be out west, Colorado, Utah, Grand Canyon, all of those. And I think there's going to be some great chances to do some boondocking on BLM or places like that. And so we probably will use it more this year. And I'm looking forward to that. I've seen some amazing places people stay using Bureau of Land Management and stuff like that. So I'm anxious to learn more about it. I do know how to boondock. Like I said, we've done it a couple of times with the Harvest Host, but I need to learn more about it. All right, so those are the tools we don't use. I'm going to tell you about RV Trip Wizard and all of the different tools real quick, and then I'm going to demo it. So you're going to need to go back to the PowerPoint that I'll send to you, and then match it up with the way I'm going to demo the tools a little bit later on. Okay. So about RV Trip Wizard, you're going to go and you're going to set up an account. You're going to set up your default settings, and I'll show you how to do that. You're going to open up a new trip. You're going to set the defaults for the new trip. I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to set filters, and then you're going to plan your trip. That's how it goes. All right. And like I said, we have a special discount for all of the TRBC Facebook groups. You're going to get 50% off of their annual fee of $49 for the first year by using TRBC Save 50. All right. If you're not a member, if you have not signed on for RV Trip Wizard, they're going to give you 50% off of your first year. It's $49, and that includes all of the RV Life tools that they offer. And there's a lot more there, including campground reviews and stuff that RV Life offers. So that's the discount, and I'll make sure that we post that on everything that we do from a follow-up standpoint, so you can take advantage of it. All right. And again, we're not making any money off of it. You get 100% of that discount. Nobody else gets any money. But we did get that for our groups here. And it's good till, I think, June 10th or something like that. But I'll let you know. All right. Let me see if we have any questions. That might have gotten a few. Love Harvest Oath. Yeah, Keith. It's a really cool tool. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you the short plan trip. I'm going to show you a place that we're going to be staying on a trip from Dallas to Houston that is really cool. All right, I'll show you guys that in just a little bit as a part of the demo. Okay. All right, so 3 kinds of trips. Like I said, last fall we went to Maine and stayed a month. Christy had never seen the leaves change up in the Northeast. And so we planned a trip to Maine, and we were in Maine, right outside of Bar Harbor, for 30 days, for an entire month. from September 15th to October 15th. So we took a very long trip up there. And on that trip, we literally did 3 different kinds of trips. All right. And here's the kind of trips they were. The first one was what I'm going to call style 1. On our way up there, we did a whole lot of stops where we were there 3 and 4 nights. And we would go and see what was in the area. We went to the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame. We went to Churchill Downs. We went to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We went to Niagara Falls. We did all of these things on the way up there and stayed 3 or 4 nights at almost every stop. We had a couple of one-night stops, but most every stop we had 3 or 4 nights. All right. That's style 1. And then from Maine, we went to the Grand Design Rally in Myrtle Beach. Right. And that trip was style 2, and they were all one-night stops. 2 of those one-night stops were Harvest Host. All right, where we just boondocked and stayed on some land. One was at a golf course, and the other was at a distillery. And we had a blast. Again, I'm not going to give details on that, but they were really cool. We had a great time, a lot of fun. And then from Myrtle Beach, we went to Shreveport, Louisiana, outrunning a hurricane. We were going to do style 2 with a lot of 1 and 2 day stops on our way back to Dallas from Myrtle Beach. But there was a hurricane coming right up through the middle of Louisiana. It was going to go right across I-10 and I-20 and all the path we were going to go back home. And so we did 1,100 miles in 2 days. All right, we did 1 stop, and then we went to Shreveport. And the hurricane passed behind us, and we stayed about 4 days in Shreveport, 5 days in Shreveport, because we weren't supposed to be at our reservation in Dallas for another 5 or 6 days because we had planned to do 1 and 2 days in a row. So we found out, though, that there's a place for all of those. All right. They all have plus minuses. There's all things that are good at advantages to all of those. But Christine and I were talking about the other day, we really learned a lot by doing that. We learned a whole lot about what we could handle physically. And, we learned a lot about setting up and tearing down the RV. As a matter of fact, I just posted a brand new blog post on joyhauling.com. I went through all that we do to set up and tear down our 399TH and all of the things that we go through to do that. So we got to hook up and move and set up and stay and all of that over and over and over again, which is great learning in that repetition. All right. So planning a short trip. And again, I'm going to tell you how to do it. Then I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. First thing, start with point A and your departure date. Then point B and arrival date. And then plan your stops if there's going to be any. Okay. Look for places to stay along the way. Book your stays. And just again, note we have what we call a 330 rule. We don't want to travel more than 330 miles a day, and we want to be stopped by 3:30 in the afternoon so we have plenty of time to rest. So that's what a short trip looks like, and I'm going to show you how to do that. A long trip, okay, same as a short. Point A and point B start and stop dates. And I'm going to show you one of those this evening. Catherine Whitman, or Whiteman, again, make sure I get that pronounced right. Catherine Whiteman shared with me a trip that she's taken. I'm going to show you the route that I would plan that trip based on some information she gave me. All right. And then crowdsource what you're going to do. What's the best routes, places to stay, things to see. I did that back when we were first planning our trip out to Colorado and Utah. And man, I got some great information. I got a lot of really cool stuff between the Texas sites, between the Grand Design sites that we're on. I just got lots of great information. People are very helpful. Gave them a lot of specifics about what we wanted to accomplish. And like I said, we just got a lot of great info. So crowdsource your trip. All right, plan your stops, length of stay. I'm going to show you how to use what I call a placeholder to get it all put together. And then come back and look for places to stay. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Research all your options, book your stays. And then after you get all that done, you can book your excursions, your side trips, your sightseeing. We've already planned a bunch of stuff for Grand Canyon and Moab and everything. We've already planned all kinds of stuff because we've got the trip planned way, way, way ahead of time. All right. And then enjoy the anticipation of the planning and looking forward to your trip. I think a lot of us miss that part, and that we get so bent out of shape or so stressed out by planning a trip. Once the thing's planned, enjoy it. Think about it. We're getting ready to go to Yellowstone here in a couple of weeks. I have to fly up to Twin Falls, Idaho to do a speaking engagement. And our son and grandkids are going to our two grandsons are going to fly up there and meet us and go to Yellowstone with us. Really excited about that. And so we bought a book on Amazon and sent it to the boys. And when we visited with them, we're going over that book and looking at some of the things that we're going to see when we're in Yellowstone. We're already enjoying the trip and we haven't even gone yet, still a month away. So again, I would hope that one of the mindsets are you can enjoy this process, have fun with it. If it's stressful, then maybe we're doing something wrong there. Okay. Let's see here. I saw some chats pop up. Let's see what we got. Planning a trip to Florida Keys, Bradley. That's where we're going next year. Dawn, I did not mention RV Parky. I understand it's basically the same as RV Trip Wizard. I'll certainly check into it because I have heard a lot of good things about it. But currently we use RV Trip Wizard, and I think they're basically the same. So, but I will check it out because I'm, like I said, always looking for more tools. Okay, so I want to demo those for you. Let me just see if anybody has any questions about the kinds of trips, about short trips, about long trips, anything about any of those pieces of the information that we've shared so far. Give me a chance to take a sip. Let's see, one question. Is crowdsourcing part of TripWizard? No. Dano, my fishing buddy. If you guys have not met Dan Goodman, you need to. He is an awesome dude. We had a great time at the takeover. He and I went on a fishing trip with a couple of other members, and I had just a great time with him. He's a great guy. By the way, I thank you for your posts today about Memorial Day. Well taken as far as that's concerned. No, crowdsourcing is getting on Facebook and onto the different places and asking people there what's their experience about going some of these places and doing some of these things. Okay. All right. Let's go. Done. All right. So I'm going to exit out of here. I plan to. And I'm going to demo these tools. Okay. We're going to start with RV Trip Wizard. And we're going to start off by opening a new trip. Let's do this. I'm going to move that there. I'm going to do a new trip. We're going to call it DFW to South. This is going to be our short trip. All right. And my departure date is going to be 6/13. And we're going to do create. It's going to ask me for my starting place. Now, if you're going to be starting from somewhere other than where you're at or home, then you can put that in here. I'm just going to put in Texas Ranch. I can search for it. There's where we're staying right now and say start here. Now it's going to walk me through setting up some trip settings for this particular trip. These are all coming from my default settings, which I'm going to show you in a minute. General, that's I can put notes in here if I want to. Trip is active, pre-departure emails. Yep, it'll send me emails every time I'm supposed to be leaving somewhere, just so I don't forget. Units are imperial, not metric. RV info, this is in my default settings as well. We're 13.6 high, 60 feet long, 26,000 pounds. That's probably the weight's a little conservative sometimes, Fuel is diesel. My capacity is 30. I don't have a reserve, but you have to put something in there, so I'll put 1. I do know from the trips that we've taken that we get right at 9.0 fuel economy. I don't need for RV Trip Wizard to give me fuel warnings because the truck does that itself. Routing and driving, it gives me some options here. If you don't want to go through toll booths, you want to avoid highways, well, I don't know. If you don't want to go across the ferry and to get to Port A, you can put that in there. Avoid tunnels. By the way, quick look, you can click on these things here and it says this will attempt to avoid all tunnels, even tunnels where your RV would fit and is allowed. All right. So I don't have any concern about tunnels. And then you can click on unpaved roads. It'll only take you down unpaved roads if you have to. I'm going to use the engine of RV Trip Wizard to plan my estimates. I'm going to show the advanced driving radius, and I'll show you in a minute the difference between that. Well, actually, I could show you here real quick, I think. Okay, so this is a classic driving radius. It'll start where you are. I have 100 miles, 200 miles, and 300-mile rings is what I put in there. But it's assuming that it's all flat road, all right? When you show advanced, it will take into consideration flat road versus mountains and things like that. So you absolutely want to use the advanced driving radius to get a good idea of what works. Distance here, I put in for my driving radius, 100 miles, 200, and 300 miles. And then expenses, I put in $50 a night for camping, $25 a day for meals, $15 for miscellaneous expenses, and now $4 a gallon for gas. Those are all high, and I'll show you in a minute. I can actually change those if I know that there's a difference. And I think we'll probably later on this fall when we're heading out to Grand Canyon and everything, we will probably average $4 a gallon for gas. Maybe not quite that high, but I'd rather overshoot it than undershoot it. All right, so save those settings and it sets up my trip. All right. And then come over here and I'll show you a couple of things. Map settings. Okay, map style is again using a street map. I'll show you all these real quick. They're kind of funky. Terrain map. I don't know why anybody want to use that. Satellite map. I guess that's pretty cool, but I use the street map. Driving radius, I do have my driver, and I'll show you in a minute. Again, it goes from classic, just have rings, to advanced, which shows you, takes into consideration driving conditions. Show campgrounds is on. Points of interest, I do not put that in there to begin with, simply because the map is already busy enough as it is. But I will come back after it's all over with and turn on points of interest where I can see things around where I'm stopping. Show low clearances. Yes, I want that on there. It will show you public lands. It will show you weather layers. This is kind of cool. Shows you radar if you've got bad weather coming. Okay, one good way to check it out. For all of us who are concerned about wind speeds, and I know many of us are, it'll show you wind speeds. Okay. And if we happen to be up in the California area where we have wildfires, or anywhere else, you can show you wildfires. So again, pretty cool stuff here that it does. Come over here, look at default settings. And again, this is where I set everything up. RV info, plug it all in here. Routing and driving, and plug it all in here. Expenses, plug it all in there. All of my memberships and preferences, I've moved over here so that it can track those for me, help me find them. Save default settings, okay? All right, so I'm gonna turn that off real quick. And I'm going to go from Texan RV Resort. And my last stop, okay, is gonna be Southern Luxury RV Resort. And I need to be there on, going to add to my trip. And it's going to be where we stay for the winter. The dates are going to be wrong, and the reason why is because you can put notes in here if you want to. I'm going to add that to my trip. All right, so I know on this trip, one of the places I want to stay is Messina Hoff Wineries, right? And they are not, you have to move my picture out of the way. Okay, go over here. There we go. They are a Harvest Host, okay? So Harvest Host has two different memberships. One of them is $99 a year, and one of them is $139 a year. The $139 a year has all the golf courses. All right. Without the golf courses, you have 1,960 places to stay around the country. With the golf courses, you have 2,365. All right. So those are the two different memberships. You pay for them once. I don't have a discount for that. I did notice that they have a discount going on at 15% right now. So you might want to take advantage of that. But I do love Harvest Host, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'm going to put in here. Actually, let's just do this. I'm going to put, every time I move my picture, I'm putting it in the wrong place. So we're just going to go Texas, USA. And it's loading everything up for us. No thanks. And so you'll see these little dots here. These are kind of give you an idea of stuff that's in a certain area. I'm going to click on this one and zero in. And I'm actually going to make this a little faster by looking for Messina Hoff Winery. I am not a robot. And so up pops this Messina Hoff Winery. All right. First thing I look for is it'll handle 45 feet plus. They have 4 spaces. They do have Wi-Fi. You can read all about the place here, all kinds of cool stuff. What I love doing, though, is looking at the photo gallery. Look at this place. Does this look like fun or what? Okay, so I'm going to check with those guys, call them, make sure that they have availability. I want to be in there on the night of the 13th. That's a Sunday night. It's on my way down toward South Texas, okay? But I'm going to come in here to RB Trip Wizard, and I'm going to write in Bryan, Texas. Let's see here. Well, it's supposed to give me a way to add the trip. Okay, we'll have to do it this way. Trip. Go away. Address. We're just going to do this. We're going to make this a custom stop. One nighter. That stop's going to come after Texas RV Ranch and Resort. And now it's added it to my list over here. Okay. My next stop is going to be Brazos Bend State Park. And here I want to show you some of the features of the tool here that's really cool. Park details. Okay. A couple of things that are really cool here. Told you about the satellite map. This is using Google Earth, where you can look down on the park. If you ever want to see how some of the sites are laid out. It's a long way back here. George Observatory, pretty cool. And here's one loop here. Actually, you can't see the sights on it very well. That's interesting. Too many trees. That one you can see a little bit better. Anyway, it's got all kinds of cool stuff. Here's what I like, features, reviews, tips. But campground reviews is included in your RV Trip Wizard, RV Life fees, all right, for that half of $49. And here's where I'm doing my research. Okay, I'm looking for these reviews. This is winds up like, 9.4 stars. If there were any terrible reviews, I would read and see what those terrible reviews are. Maybe I can show you something here in a minute where it has those. And I want to find out what people didn't like and see if there's anything about that I would not like. But these guys got really great reviews. And then you actually can go to the website, which I've already pulled up, to make a reservation. And I'm guessing everybody's tried to make a reservation, but let's do this. I'll show you a couple of features here. RV and camping, RV sites. This is auto-populating because I might have done this once or twice. And let's say I wanted to stay there starting tomorrow, and I'm not flexible, and I want to stay 3 days. Okay. What do you think is going to happen? I got nothing. All right. So one feature that you have here is, oh, look, Martin Dias does have spots right now. Okay. So if you were looking to go this weekend and you couldn't go to Brazos Bend, you could be able to see here that Martin Dias does have site. So I'm going to go to looking at this, and it's going to give me an option right here. Create availability notification. Sign in. I just created a notification. It's going to tell me if somebody cancels between now and Friday. All right, that's a really valuable tool for making reservations right there. If you're trying to find somewhere this weekend, go to all the state parks in the area and put in a reservation like that, and it'll notify you if there's something comes available. One other little thing I'm going to show you, and people get irritated with me when I do this. I did it the other day. All right. Let's say that I want to stay. Let's look at this. I want to stay October 29th through the 1st. Okay. That's when I want to stay. And I'm going to stay for 4 days. Well, guess what? Those reservations aren't open yet. Okay. Because this is outside the 5-month window right now. Everybody get that? There's a 5-month window for the state parks. It's outside the 5-month window right now. But if I click on any one of these sites, it'll let me book those dates. Boom, just like that. Okay, and then once it gets past the window, you can go back and cancel the dates you don't want. How about that? And you're going to pay a $10 fee as long as you don't wait inside the last 10 days or something like that. I think you're going to pay a $10 fee for that. but you can get those weekends that are so hard for people to get by going that route. Okay. Let me check for questions here. By the way, we're not going to get done by 8:30. It's going to take a little bit longer than that, but I hope you can stay with us. Is it easier to find spots if you have a smaller rig? Oh yeah, under 40 feet. It is easier, although Chris, we haven't had a problem finding spots. I may have to look a little bit more, but it's a whole lot easier. Yeah, if you're under 40 feet for sure. Let's see here. Vicky, this is absolutely amazing. Oh, good. I'm glad it's working. Does this show load zone bridges? No, it does not, Margot. I have not seen anything on that. That said, my Garmin RV GPS does. Okay, that is what we use to take care of what wind speed do you call it quits and find a place to wait it out. I think that depends on your rig. With the Keystone Outback, we got in about 35-mile-an-hour winds one day, and I pulled over to the side of the road, and it was just too hairy. With this one, I've not been in anything yet. I don't know what that number is, but there's nowhere I need to be so bad that I would put myself and my wife and our yellow lab in danger. Just wouldn't do it. Okay. All right. Yeah, the notification feature is pretty cool, huh? All right. So let me jump back over here to RV Trip Wizard. And I'm going to add this to my trip. That's going to come up after Bryan, Texas, and Messina Hoff. Boom. Now I've got everything done. I've planned my short trip. If I want to see the overall trip, looks like this. Oh, let me show you this little feature real quick. Turn those off. Let's say that while we're on the trip, we want to go see Aunt Mary in Huntsville. Okay, there's Huntsville, Texas right there. I can grab, says drag route. I'm going to drag the route over to Huntsville. Okay, see how I did that? I grabbed the route and I moved it over to Huntsville. I can move it back like that. Like I said, say I want to go over to Huntsville and see Aunt Mary. I can do that, and it'll show me the route down to Houston. Okay. All right. Get rid of that trip. Boom. Delete trip. All right. Let's plan another trip. By the way, it takes a while to load this one. This is our trip this summer. We're going to Grand Design Rally up in Elkhart, and then all of these trips here. So we're gonna open a new trip. New trip. We're going to call this Charlotte. North Carolina, and we are leaving on 8/27. We're going to start, and I'm just going to use Dallas, Arlington, KOA. Again, I'm going to plug in all my info here. And again, Catherine, you would plug in your info, all your expenses and everything, going to save that. And then here's what I found out from talking to our messaging Catherine back and forth. Our first stop is going to be Lake Catherine. And I don't know if you were going to stay at Catherine's Landing or if you're going to Lake Catherine, but I'm going to tell you what, I highly recommend Lake Catherine. It is beautiful. We went to it on our trip up to Maine last summer, and it was gorgeous. Amazing place. I'm going to add it to the trip. It's going to be our first stop, and you wanted to stay there, let's see here, 2 nights. I'm going to book that. And then you wanted to go to Petite Jean State Park. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Wow, beautiful place. I've not stayed there, but I've heard it's gorgeous. We're going to add that to the trip. We're going to stay there 29th through the 6th, 7 nights. That's going to show up after Lake Catherine State Park. We're going to add that to the trip. And then we're going to add Charlotte, North Carolina. Boom. All right, so I'm not getting over to Charlotte. I already booked these 2 here. I'm going to book the end of my trip by looking at Charlotte. Let me turn my filters back on. And what I did notice is you said that your son lived just on the other side of the border between North Carolina and South Carolina. So here's a KOA, all right? I'm going to click on it. And again, a couple of tools here. Campground reviews. All right, you can come over here and read about it, see all the reviews. Oh, we've got 6 terrible ones. That's what I was telling you about a while ago. 6 terrible ones. And so I come over here and I read what they're about. All right, and I read when they were. The last bad one was July of 2020. All right, and the first one says, not worth the money, need a place to stop for the night, pay for extra pull through, but the spot had trees. So basically the spot wasn't big enough. All right. And the guy took them and was going to move them and take care of them, everything, but they weren't happy. And then the one previous to that is all the way back to November of 2016. And so I think we have to look into these things to figure out what's going on. What's the context? If I come up here and I look at the excellent ones, all right, what do they say? Look at this. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Campground was quiet, clean, shady, located near a Publix. Next one said, not the most picturesque, but amenities and convenience made it more, makes up for it. Bar, convenience store, and liquor store within walking distance. There you go. So I start reading the reviews because it's hard for me to go all the way there. And here's our experience with KOAs. They may not be the nicest, most pristine places, but they tend to have really good customer service. They'll bring firewood out to you. We stayed at one near Niagara Falls, and it was it may be one of the 2 least attractive places we stayed. But the couple running the place were so outstanding. They cooked breakfast on Saturday morning and brought it to us. All right, we just ordered. It was free. We didn't have to pay for it. They cooked pancake breakfast for the whole park. And they brought it to the RV for us. We didn't have to go pick it up. They brought us firewood and everything. They would come and get your propane. And so again, I think we have to use all of the options available to us. And I booked this one because again, I like KOAs, and it was where I think you might want to look. And so I like this one. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to say add it to the trip. I'm only going to put 1 day there because I don't know how long you're going to stay. Boom. Now I've added that to my trip. Here's what we can do now. Show the entire trip. All right, it's going to back out. I'm going to look at Petite Jean State Park. Again, show entire trip. See how it shows me my travel here? Now I can start zooming in and looking for places along my route. Okay, and by the way, there's Memphis. We all know they got a problem up there right now. You can take a loop around Memphis, but let's see. I'm trying to remember where I was playing around with this a while ago. I'm out here on the edge of my travels. Oh, looky here. Natchez Trace State Park, Cub Lake Campground. We stayed there. It is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous place, gorgeous area. Sit up on top of a hill, look down over the lake, pull-throughs. It was amazing. So I'm going to add that to my trip. Okay, that's going to come up after Petite Jean. Boom, add that to the trip. Oh, hang on. Didn't put how many nights there. I'm going to put 1 night. And save. By the way, let me go back and look at that real quick too. I'm going to show you something here. So let's come in here and let's say camping is only $25 for 1 night. Let's say that we're not going to eat out, so we're going to spend $0, and we have no miscellaneous, so that's $0. Okay, you hit save, and now it's changed my numbers. Here's another little feature. All right, from Dallas to Lake Catherine, 336. Lake Catherine to Petite Jean, 90. Petite Jean to Natchez Trace, 319. The last leg is 524, which means we've got to find another place. Zoom back out. Click on Natchez Trace. By the way, that is a beautiful park. I really recommend it, Catherine. We loved it. Absolutely loved it. Show entire trip. Now I'm going to zoom in and look for something out on the outer edge. I think I'm probably boring you guys at this point in time. I'm sorry. There's a lot to do here to get it right. And again, you'll see all of these options in here along the route. You can pull these up and see how many stars they have. Ooh, 4 seasons, 1 star. That sounds like a great place, doesn't it? Soaring Eagle. And so this is where I'm talking about just a placeholder. I'm just going to put this in here. That's going to come up after Natchez Trace. I'm going to say there 1 night. Add it to my trip. Now, I have booked my entire trip from Dallas to North Carolina. These are my stops. Now I can go back in and book Lake Catherine, book Petite Jean, book Natchez Trace, book Melton Hill. I can go do all of that after the fact. If I find out that Petite Jean's not available, then I can look for something else and move. But I do that on my way out so as not to get locked into a date over here somewhere. All right. Let's see here. Anything else I did not show you? I was just going to show you the recreation.gov site. Rocky Creek, this is how you do a reservation there. Select your dates. Let's just go apply. By the way, I love Rocky Creek, if you guys had figured that out. One of my favorites. And it'll show you all of the sites are available for that time frame. I actually like to look at it by the grid. And there you go. Okay, all right. There's a lot to cover. I feel like I missed some stuff there. Let me see what questions you guys have. What do you do if you get to your site that you don't fit? Margot, in the process of going through all of those things there, one is I'm going to double check when I get to the state park website. I'm going to make sure, like with Brazos Bend, all right. If you let's see, where did I do that? If I'm looking at sites here on Brazos Bend, see details. It's going to tell me down here how long it is. Max vehicle length 54. Okay, so I'm gonna look at that. It's going to tell me what's going on. I'm going to do my research and make sure, as long as you guys are, y'all are 38 or 40, something like that. You're going to want to check that out and make sure. I would do that research up front. If I had to, I'd call and talk to them. Let's see. Can you download these routes? Absolutely. Kay or Jerry, I'm not sure which one of you asked that. You can download these into Excel spreadsheets. You can download them into your GPS. I don't do that because my GPS is set up to make sure I don't go through any low clearings or stuff like that. I trust my GPS more than I trust the route that's picked here. And so when I leave to go from here to Lake Catherine, I use my GPS route there, not the Trip Wizard route. And when I go from Lake Catherine to Petite Jean, I don't use the Trip Wizard route. I use my GPS route. I trust my GPS above everything. I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say there. I don't use the RV Trip Wizard. I just use it to plan the trip. But how to get from point A to point B, B to C, C to D, I use my GPS. Let's see. Don't miss Tom Sawyer RV in West Memphis, Arkansas, along Mississippi River. See, there's crowdsourcing. All right, Dano, that's crowdsourcing right there. You had put it in there. Joe would have answered it on the Facebook page. Hope. Is the RV Life Trip Wizard app your user-friendly as the web page? No, Bradley. That stuff on this thing right here, no, it's not. I wish it was. It just isn't. All right. But I mean, that's a tiny little deal. I do use it on my iPad, but I prefer the web page. All specs said we would. That's unfortunate. Sorry, y'all got stuck, Margo. That sucks. Where were you, by the way? Parked on gravel, made it work. There you know what? That's what I was talking about a while ago. Make the best out of whatever's going on. Doesn't surprise me about you guys. Thanks for the info. Happy camping. Same to you, Jacqueline. Really need to review how you showed the book out past 5 months at state parks. Keith, I tell you what, I'll shoot a separate video for that. Your Garmin 890 got you in trouble in Dangerfield State Park, sent me down a dead end road and not to the park. Well, that had to be fun. McCown Valley at Lake Whitney. Huh. Is that a COE? Wow. All right. Any other questions? Let's see here. We got some chat going on. Make sure I get all that. Lake Catherine State Park is awesome. Margo, I don't know if you remember me telling you guys the toughest parking I ever had to do was at Lake Catherine. Let me just explain. 44 feet plus a rig, backing uphill in a passenger side sight blind. And it was only rig wide. It wasn't like a double wide or triple wide side. It was one sight wide, and I nailed it the first shot. Will never happen again. So not bored. Thank you. What Garmin unit do you have? I have the, I don't remember. I'll put it in the notes though. It's got a Techno RV. Heck, I'll just look. I'll just look real quick. Yep, the RV 785. Let's see here. Dawn, you said I didn't quite follow the notification feature. Is that in RV Trip Wizard? No, that'll be on the state reservation website. I'll shoot a separate video for that as well, just to go back through that and do it slowly. I know I was hustling through that because I was afraid we were going to run everybody out of time. Going to be in Yellowstone in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Beautiful place. I've been there before. Christy's never been, and obviously our grandkids have never been. Our son's never been too, and he's been most places with us. So cool. All right. Well, we're 4 minutes over. I'll go and see. I'll answer more questions here. First thing, just thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I'll stay and answer questions as long as you guys want to ask them. And again, if you want to jump off, I'm not going to cover any more content here. But I will reshoot a short video on the notifications, and I'll shoot a short video on how to take advantage of the technology to book things that are more than 5 months out. Okay, like I said, some people are not happy when I do that. They think that's cheating, and I'm simply saying it's taking advantage of the technology as it's provided, and I'm not doing anything that nobody else couldn't do as well. Okay, I'll need review on booking out past 5 months as well. I'll do that. How to plan trip back? Actually, Catherine, great question. I do, simply because it makes it easier to book it instead of trying to figure out how many days am I staying in North Carolina and everything. I will just simply call the trip out there one trip, and then I'll do the exact same thing on the trip back. And by the way, I recommend going a different route so that you can see things that you won't see on that trip. Best GPS device. I like this one from Techno RV. I like the guys at Techno RV a lot. Their customer service is outstanding. I got my TPMS from them. A lot of different things I've got from those guys. They're just really good folks. Lake Ouachita and Hot Springs, big rig friendly. By the way, Keith, we went to Lake Catherine last time, and my wife was looking at the map, and she said, we need to go look at Lake Ouachita. And I laughed, told her it's like Ouachita, it's Ouachita. And the only reason I know that is because I played basketball against Ouachita State back when I was in college and everything. We're going to go to Lake Ouachita this time on our trip up to Elkhart, Indiana, instead of going to Lake Catherine. So big rig friendly. I'm glad to know that. That's cool. How are you sending the slides and recording of this? Keith, I'll be sending the information out to you guys via email. Probably going to load the video up on our YouTube channel. I'm not sure yet. I want to make sure I don't feel like anybody feels like we're trying to get you on our list or something like that, but I will email it where everything's located out to everybody. I may put it in one single blog post. Would love for you guys to check out our blog and subscribe to it if you want to. Again, we have no interest in monetizing it. We just want to be of help to folks. So, but I will email everybody, and I'll put it on the Facebook pages too. Thanks, Vicki. I appreciate that. That's kind of you. This was fun. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you. Would like to talk to my wife. Yes, she's a therapist. She is a counselor on 2 different online platforms. So, Karen, if you'll reach out to me, DM, then I can connect you to her. She loves it. I wish she'd work a little bit less, but she loves it and is having a good time with it. So, what is the blog name? joyhauling.com, joyhauling.com. We said I think I've only got 4 or 5 blog posts in there, but we will be posting all kinds of cool stuff, having some fun. Code for the RV Trip Wizard discount is TRVC Save 50. TRVC Save 50. It's normally $49. You're going to get it for $24.50. I think it's $49 flat. If it's $49.99, you're going to get 24 something. Less than 25, but it's 50% off. And that gets you the RV life, the campground reviews, great tools as well. LPC. Cool, Karen. You should talk to her. It's pretty cool. Pretty amazing. She has a little over 100 clients on her dashboard at any point in time. Name of your blog and YouTube channel and email. I will do that. Absolutely, Sherry. Thank you. Thanks, Dano. Good to talk to you again, man. Glad you're here. We'll catch up soon. Get those sumo springs on your new rig. Everybody's saying thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of fun. This is cool. So Brenna Kajar, whatever. Thank you so much. We're new and excited. Let me just say this. If I can ever help any of you, do not hesitate to reach out to me, direct message me, catch me on the Facebook pages. Anything I can do to help you, let me know. Always a pleasure. This is fun stuff. Let's see here. Chat, more chats. Let's see here. Planning a trip to the Florida Keys, Bradley. That's where we're going next year. I want to spend a month in the Keys. I know it's going to be expensive, but care less. I want to go. Hard time changing the route by dragging it. Is there a trick? First thing you do have to, let me show you here. Oh man, I got all kinds of screens open here. So you have to make sure you turn on drag route. And again, I don't even know whether I could do that on my phone or even on my iPad, but drag route is off. Now I put drag route on. And what I would do, just come here, see that little dot right there? A little hand shows the dot, click down and pull it. Drag it over to Birmingham. That's how you would do that. Okay. Okay. Great Harvest Host last month. I hope you're talking about the one at Messina Hall because I cannot wait to go. That looks like a great place. If you sign up for availability, how are you notified? Dawn, you're notified by email. Notified by email. And by the way, I'll check those first thing in the morning because if there's several different ones set for notification, whoever gets on there and books it first is going to wind up getting that site. So, and I'm an early morning person anyway, so I usually up about 5 o'clock. Brazos Bend, that's our home park, Joy. That's our home park. Is RV Trip Wizard a one-time purchase? It's an annual fee. You're going to get half off the first year. The second year, you're going to pay the regular price. Lake Catherine State Park, awesome. Yep. Tight fitting site, yes. Not bored, thank you. Carmen, follow the notification. I'll redo that. Yellowstone. My pleasure, Dawn. My pleasure, Jane. My pleasure, everybody. Yeah, you'll be getting the slides and emails via email. Williams, Arizona, standing on the corner. Can't wait to do that. In Winslow. Williams AZ too yesterday, stayed at Circle Pines KOA. I think in Williams, I don't remember where we're staying. YouTube channel is Joy Hauling as well. That's actually not even up yet. That's how brand new I am at doing this stuff. So let me ask one quick question let's see how many people are still here. 26 people are still here. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. You can put it in the chat for me. All right, what would you like to see me do next? All right, I'm gonna start doing these regularly. Can we do a webinar on boondocking? Yes, we can, Margot. You answered before I even got it out of my mouth. What else would you like to see a webinar on? I may just post that as a poll on the Facebook pages. Let's see what you guys come up with. Love to see a webinar on internet options. Margot, that's actually was what I thought would do next, how we make sure we stay connected, because Christy is on those two platforms and is doing Zoom calls all day long, all right? And I'm still working, I'm a consultant, and I do Zoom calls regularly as well. So we have to stay connected, and I can share with you again how we do it, all right? There's some great videos by other folks out there, but I can show you how we do it and show you all the equipment, kind of how we make it all happen. I was thinking that might be a good one to do too. So I'll put that on the list. What else? Any other things you guys would like to see? Solar panel information, Lori. We went to the Texas Grand Design Rally 2 years ago, and they had a workshop on solar, and we were there like 5 minutes. Already had a headache. It was so far over my head. We do have a solar panel on the roof of our Grand Design Momentum 399 TH, and it keeps my batteries topped off, and that's about all she does. And I don't know, other than that, I don't know anything about it. Webinar and full timing. Okay, we can absolutely do that. You know that. Proper inflation of tires. Okay, Rick, are you trolling now? Or are you serious? I think that's a troll. How about we do proper inflation of tires and how much can my vehicle tow? So, Rick, my answer to the proper inflation of tires is I keep them inflated to the number that's on the sidewall. That's what I do. And I know there's all kinds of other answers to that. That's what I do. And I don't know any more than that's all I know. When I roll out, though, my TPMS shows all of my tires sitting at exactly the right number. And by the way, if it's 110, it's what I want them at when I roll out. If one of them's at 108, it'll be at 110 in about a half a mile. So give Marty a hug. I'll do that, Laurie. Good to see you again, too. Wi-Fi cell boosters, absolutely. All right, I'm going to give just a few more seconds. If not, we're going to shut this down. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time. I always tell people whenever I do workshops, keynotes, and things like that, if you enjoyed it, tell somebody about it. All right, go on the Facebook page and go, you should have been at that webinar. It was so good. I learned this. You just go do that for me. I appreciate it. If for some reason you did not like it, I hurt your feelings, stepped on your toes, or you thought it was a waste of time, do me a favor. All right, just keep your mouth shut. My grandmother said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So no, actually, if we can do something to make them more valuable, probably cover a little less ground. I was a little concerned we're covering too much ground tonight, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. So, all right, gang, I'm going to shut it down. Appreciate you. Don't hesitate to reach out to me on the Facebook page if you need anything. Got any questions about this? As soon as I can get all of this put together, shoot a couple of more videos here real quick for the notification and the how to beat the 5-month system. Let me take it back. How to leverage the software capabilities to book camping sites just outside of the 5-month limit. I'll do that too, but it'll take me a little while to put it all together, and it will not be tonight. Okay. All right, gang. Appreciate you. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you on the Facebook pages. If you haven't joined Central Texas RV and Camping, go do it. Later.